Good morning, YouTube. Dr. Dual Sport here. As you can see, it's a early morning. The sun's just getting ready to come up. Anyway, it's been a long old summer. I've been working many hours every day. I have not been able to ride a dual sport motorcycle for the last 5-6 months. Too many hours of work, but that's what I set out to do. I like to work, I like to farm, so it's just I don't have enough hours in my day. We're just headed down this morning to rake some hay. I've got to turn off this one wheel line. This is the last move on this field, probably for the year. This field was planted in alfalfa in the latter part of August. If you can see, here's the little alfalfa plants. They're up in the 3-leaf, looking pretty good. You can see right down the row, it's got a little bit of volunteer grain coming here. We'll probably spray this. Anyway, just headed down to rake some hay. Normally, throughout the summer, I'd go kind of more in the middle of the night, but things are kind of winding down. Don't have to go quite so early. This is actually my last field of the third crop, the last one to rake. Had a little trouble with my tractor. I usually have a barrel of concrete on the back of the tractor there on the 3-point arms. It's for ballast weight for when we're using the loader. But I just normally I'll just leave it on. I can hook on the rake, but last time I was raking, all of a sudden I heard a big thud, and these arms came down. As you can see, that barrel of concrete was sitting right on the tongue of the rake, and I was able to finish the field, but it wasn't right. So anyway, I had the dealership sent the serviceman and to diagnose. Anyway, he diagnosed it that it had a bad computer module that runs the 3-point, and so they ordered a new one, and they came yesterday to install it. They have to program it, flash it, and then they have to it's just a little square box, and then they have to calibrate it. So they have to like get the arms down and then tell, okay, the arms are down, this says it's down, blah blah blah. Anyway, he couldn't get it to calibrate. Okay, he worked on it for a couple hours, so he finally called the factory tech guy, and he says, you know, we've had a few with that problem. And he says, here, I'll show you here. He says, why don't you remove this filler plug where you add the oil, and then look down in there, and if you see if you can see a little metal tube that's come unhooked. He says there's a little oil tube that says we've had them come unhook, and we've been fighting with the factory over it, whether or not what caused it, or if it's you know, when it was manufactured, put together, or what caused it. They haven't been able to figure it out. He says, but we've on the ones we've repaired, we just replaced that tube and the O-rings, and then it's good. So he opened, took the lid off that thing, and sure enough, that's the problem. So they're going to order that part and probably fix it next week. So anyway, it's been a long old summer, but I'm going to go rake hay. get her done. Rake that hay. It's been a long old summer. Rain or shine, windy or not, 7 days a week. Got to keep that water moving if you want to raise any crops. Anyway, all I got to say, it's been a long old summer. Well, as you can see, they've been chopping corn the last 2 days. Last night they got to right here and plugged up the chopper pretty bad, I guess, because they must have damaged something because they couldn't get it going, took it home. I guess they'll be back Monday. But as you can see, that corn is just barely starting to dent, starting to dry down. Yeah, I think they only had like probably an hour or less left. Well, I'll take you for a little walk through here. I think it's going to be pretty good corn as far as yield. I didn't really put much water on the last. I did only hit it one time last 3 weeks, so. But it seems to, you know, have plenty of juice in that cob. I think I have plenty of residual moisture in the ground, so. Anyway, that'll be good to get the corn all done. And like I said, it's been a long old summer. Well, here we are on the last field to bale. We're on third crop. We're going to give her a try this morning here and see how it's looking. Last night I checked this late afternoon and it was just drier than a popcorn fart. Most of the time I'll bale like in the night. So anyway, I woke up about 1:32 and checked my phone, and anyway, the humidity was already up to like 60%, so I knew it'd be too wet. So waited till morning, and then I gotta wait till the sun comes up and dries her down just a little bit. And so now it's 9:41, and I'm thinking it might be close to be getting ready, so we'll fire this old baler up here and give her a try. It seems to be bailing pretty good. Where our cylinder pressure is about 1300, which is a good starting point, and our moisture, according to the sensor, is between 11 and 15%, so that's good to go. You get above 15, if you hit like 16%, then the Harvest Tech preservative attachment will start injecting some acid into the hay there that acts as a preservative. So looks like we're about 12-13%, and our numbers on the cylinder pressure just right to go. So hopefully we have a good productive morning here for about 3 hours. Knock out this little piece of hay, and that'll be the last one for third crop. I don't know if we'll have any fourth crop or not, may or may not, depending on the weather. And all I got to say is, boy, it's been a long old summer. I'll be glad when we get her all done. Well, here we go. I got just a couple of passes left here. This is the last little piece of grass we got to cut for the year. Hopefully that'll do it. This is a kind of a rough little piece of ground here. Thank God for the air ride seat. I've been to in the last month I visited the chiropractor 8 times. I went this morning. He finally graduated me to where I can just go once a week now. So that's hard on your back, operating machinery, just on your spine like that all the time. So anyway, hopefully we'll get this done.
this unagreeable. But Nancy Jones is the person who has participated this duty attack, and status is currently navigated why nothing has happened. But she told her members stay quiet.
He suggested court digging. A judge denied the request to toss out that suit, which accuses Bolton of disclosing classified information and failing to finish a plea.
All right. We have just about finished the last field of raking this little piece of grass hay here. So that means third crop's all done. This little piece of grass will be raked, ready to bale. Maybe bale it tonight, we'll see. So we should be all done unless we decide to do some fourth crop. So that's just dependent upon the weather. As you can see, this field over here is quite green, you know, and several of the fields are that way. They've had plenty of water, but the days are shorter now, and then it'll soon be coming to an end. We have in the forecast like 10 days of good weather, 80-degree days, with only getting down to the 40s at night, mid 40s. So it should still grow a little. So we'll take a look at this in maybe 10 days. If we decide to cut it, then we'll do some fourth crop. If not, bring in the herd of sheep to feed it off. So anyway, glad to get this done. It's been a long old summer. Well, there we go. Got the last field loaded up. Time to head back to the yard. All I got to say is it's been a long old summer. Well guys, as you can see, the cornfield's all done. The sun's going down on another day. I want to show you something we got in the corner of the field here. just recording this on my phone. I didn't have my GoPro or anything, but anyway, this as you can see, we got a house here in the corner of the field. It came from over that way about a half mile at the next farm, and anyway, this house has been vacant for about 15 years. Anyway, actually there were a bunch of kids broke in there and vandalized it, wrote stuff all over the walls and whatever. But anyway, it's actually structural. It had the brick walls on it. They pulled the brick off, but looks like they've got it all ready, loaded, and they got it over to here. And they've cut a wide hole through the gate. They're going to go through there. I think they're waiting. Maybe they're waiting for tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. There'll be no traffic. I think what they're waiting for, because the house is like 30 feet wide. But I want you to look at this. It's very structural. And you can see the lumber. I think it's fir, but anyway, the old gentleman that built this house, the farmer, he built it all himself. And I can remember when I was probably 8 or 10 years ago, or 8 or 10 years old, my father took this up on top of this Mount Nebo on the back side, over by the Santaquin Canyon, and the neighbor here, old D. Jarrett, he was up there and he had his teams up there and he was cutting logs, and he cut all that lumber and then hauled it down to the sawmill, had it cut, and then he built this house himself, pounded every nail. And anyway, it's very well built. Got good lumber in it, and I don't know how they got those beams shoved under there and raised it up, but because I wasn't around, I didn't know they were going to move it. They told me they were going to move it tomorrow, and by the time I got here, they'd already put it in the corner of the field. So anyway, just reminds me of how the times they are a changing. Yeah, when this gentleman got, he was in his 80s or so, he finally sold out to the big farm that was next to him there, and then when he was there, he had all flood irrigation. He had concrete ditches and had 2 wells, so he had a stream of water all the time to 3 or 4 times a day he had to go change irrigation water in the ditch water. And then they put in pivots, knocked down everything except for the house and a couple of old sheds, and then, like I said, the kids vandalized it. So I'm glad to see this. I think they actually gave the house to this gentleman that's moving it, and the company moving it, they're moving it about a mile up to town there, and it's costing him $16,000. So anyway, I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see they didn't just demolish it, and haul it to the dump. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe later on, when he gets that placed on the foundation there, I'll ride by there and give you guys a little peek. So anyway, that's my story. Dr. Dual Sport out.